All right, look at that. That is loosey-goosey set up, sitting on the floor. I dig it. I do dig the bumpers. I'm a little mixed on them, but yeah, the fenders aren't exactly where they gotta go. I'm really not gonna mock up the front end. Too much effort into it at this point. Bill at Vavavoom there, I was talking to him. He has a hood, so I basically want to get the hood, make sure I get all the sheet metal lined up with that hood, and then we'll go from there. It is from a Plymouth, which is awesome because I like the Art Deco that's on the side of the hood of that particular one. So this is going to be a goulash of even more cars before everything's said and done. Anyways, we kind of did a loosey-goosey mock-up of what a set of skirts would look like. I can say I'm a little mixed, but I'm going to try it. The way I'm going to do it is we'll be able to do it that we can take them off. So that's my plan, is that I'm not going to do the big skirts that I wanted to do. I'll probably just do that'll fill the wheel arch, and then it won't change the look of the car if it has or doesn't have them. Hey, Pablo. Calm down a bit. Hey, buddy. All right. I think this round, like I say, I'm going to shed the front tin, but I do believe I want to start tackling the floor structure. We want to start working with that. The goal is 1 by 1. I want to do a perimeter frame, like a perimeter of 1 by 1, and then we'll start doing our framing going across, and we'll have to build something to go over the transmission, all that jazz. I'm not sure where we're going from there, but I think first we're gonna start slowly scabbing things together here till the body is sitting where it's supposed to be. We do have to do the whole rear section, and I'm not sure how I'm going about that yet, but one thing at a time. We'll get all of this figured out. I know back here, the chassis, whatever you see for the frame, is actually resting onto the, well, I don't know if it is or not, but it does. I think my bag mounts are actually a little too high. Like, we can put a little bit of a spacer in there yet to when the car is fully aired out. The frame actually sinks lower than my body can go, let's put it that way. So a good thing or not, I don't know. All I know is I have a 1-inch spacer on there, so we can space the bags out another inch if I want or need another inch of lift. I don't actually, but it's never a bad thing to have more lift. Yeah, I always get hung up in parking lots and stuff, so if I can get the back end to kick up a little more, it's not a bad thing. All right, well, I guess we'll get started. We'll, like I say, I'm going to shed that stuff off the front. We'll lift the body. I'll just work with the body in the air. I think I'll leave the frame for now. I don't know tonight if the tractor will start, so the frame table will probably hang out for a little while, but it can go outside. We don't need it for till our next project anyways. I believe this one's pretty good. Eventually we'll get the chassis out. We'll strip it down, weld it up fully, get all of our gussets on there. I kind of want to just get this done, the floor's done, so we can build body mounts on there, and then that almost pretty much buttons up where the frame's all supposed to be. At least that's my plan. Anyways, let's get started on some floors. Well, I spent a little while in here. I was peeling, you know, the old floor off the bottom. Some of these little chunks and nuggets, but just looking at this, and it's just more and more work than it is worth. Seeing how we have to rebuild this side anyways. This structure is not very good. I think what I'm just gonna do for the most part, we'll brace up the cab a little more. We'll kind of go from side up to the middle, hold the bottom. The outside's good and the door opening's good because we've burned it in up in the front and in the back. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna cut this junk off. The front part's good and I wanna leave that. So I want the 1x1's gotta go here. It's gonna tag across. I wanna follow it here further back, probably around up to there, because that is close to this area of the chassis. So we're gonna put 1x1 up to there. We can start figuring out our floor after that. We'll get rid of all of this, find a new way to connect it to this stuff. And then I guess we'll rebuild the inner part of the car, whether we just plate it or do something inside this part. But I feel I'll get rid of all this garbage and then it'll just be a nicer fit. Like it'll hover away, but I'm gonna leave it on for now. I'm gonna use it because that's what I was basing my floor on. We're gonna zippity-doo, follow this bow line. Whether we can just slap it on the floor or not, I don't know. But I wanna follow that, then we can cut this free, because we need this pillar's gotta sit on there anyways. This stuff, like I say, we'll rebuild it. I don't know. Let me hack this up and I'll show you what I'm doing. That's the easiest way for me to explain this. All right, man, did we go through a lot of work here? So we built our floor. Ooh, that's still a little warm. What we did is we cut the junk out. Pretty happy about that, really. This was pretty junky, so I was going to try to attach it to this lip under here, but like it's got some meat to it, but it was pretty thin in spots, and like this thing here was kind of rotten, and I'm like, meh, whatever. So we took some 3/16, 1 by 1. We basically ran that across all the way to the front like we need, because we had to space the body an inch off this. Well, it'll be an inch and a bit after we put some mounts and things, but anyways, that's all done in there. Once this went, the gap was a little big, so we took another piece of 1 by 1. I just stuck it in there, and it finished up this gap now. So essentially, we can sand or grind this, and if we probably will do a little bit of body work on it, and then it'll look like the original style ledge. So, and it's like way uber overbuilt, which is perfect. So now I have it. I kind of miscalculated actually, because I forgot that it had to go up over the steel up in the front there. So I ended up pushing everything that way, which led me short over here. But we'll make up something new. Either I'll come up, like we'll tag into this. We'll come up and come across the front like I want to do, because I kind of want to go wherever, like up to there, and then kind of come up over, kind of do all that stuff. We still haven't done, but we got to do is that bar across here, and then we'll have this platform where we can mount our, well, if we have to and stuff doesn't fit back there, we can mount our compressor and things up here, if that's the way we have to go. Then later the plan will be, I'll either get some angle or we'll bend some heavy gauge steel, and we'll kind of come off of this up over, we'll kind of hit it with an L, that way we can sheet metal across. But I'm feeling like the way this 1 by 1's working, we're gonna build a bit of a skeleton over this whole thing. We'll follow to the outside of this perimeter kind of deal. Maybe we can weld it to here, I don't know yet, but we want a nice beefy skeleton. Kind of like, I haven't really started, these are just temporary just because it's holding the body where it's supposed to be right now. So the next step is we're gonna start going at it with our 1 by 1. We're gonna kind of come in, follow along the transmission, and then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do over the hump. I think I'm just going to use some strapping, because I think this will be plenty strong in the big picture of things. But like this is here, we'll have to do our transmission hump. We'll have to figure all that out, and then these bars will all get cut, but we need to have some skeleton spielio. I'm hoping the kid gets some useful scrap cars so I can kind of try to steal a bucket seat out of it, and try to figure out where my seat's got to go, and then we can work more from there. Anyways, gonna cut up some stuff, cut up some steel. We're gonna figure out just a way to kind of zippity-doo follow this thing lightly, loosey-goosey. That'll put our floor where it's gonna be, and then we'll have to have this humongous hump after. Alrighty. Anyways, I got a ton of welding done. We're still going to have to come in here because you can see there's nothing here. So we're going to plate this once I get the rest of this made up. I'm going to plate it into here, and then we'll tag it into the fender brace over there yet. Because, well, we can tag it up to here anyways. That's this huge meaty rocker that we built like a long time ago now. That's what we've tied into, is this big 1 by 2. All right. Anyways, let's cut up some steel till I run out. I have one length, half a length. I don't know what I got there, 12 feet. Some more. We should have enough really to do the floor, actually. And then I have a whole bunch of 1/2 inch that we can, maybe I can use that for around the hump. And maybe we can bend it and do the transmission hump. Once we do that and weld some steel to it, it should be like more than plenty strong. Right, buddy? Is it going to be pretty strong? Strong enough, right? All right. Let's get going. Well, I was basically, you're probably watching me till the chaos all came to be there. I figured I'd use my mag drill. That's what I bought it for, to drill stuff upside down and things like that. It was working good. And then it got to a snag, and then the magnetic base wasn't that good. Just chaos happened after that. Oh, bummer. Oh, well. I'm going to have to modify or make something else here. Looks like there's 4 bolts, so I guess stay tuned for the future where we're going to build ourselves a mag drill. Can't really warranty stupidity, so oh well, no biggie. I have plenty of drills I don't use, so we'll adapt something else onto it, and yeah, we'll do something in the future. Yeah, basically it got snagged or bound up inside of there, and then the magnet isn't that strong where I had it clamped onto, which then caused it to whip around. So I just got the heck out of there and just waited for whatever the heck happened to happen. And yeah, I don't know, could have been worse. Anyways, we got that done. I'm gonna bring it down, and we'll be able to start the floor. I kind of wanted that out of the way to get those clamps out of the way, so now we can make sure we route our floor over top of everything. All right. Well, we started our floor bracing. We kind of did this one. I don't really know how I'm doing this, really. It's kind of all over the place. We kind of lightly mocked up the pedals. They're not right. There's a lot of things not working for me in this, but I just wanted to get a feel for where my gas, like as far as these go, how much room I'd have for a gas pedal, stuff like that. I'm kind of doing my floor excessively low. Normally this would run across. I'm probably going to step it down. I'll leave this little lump on the side, but I don't really have anything to show you. But anyways, when this runs, it'll probably sit an inch lower than this part, which just gives me more room in general. I don't know how things are all going to jive right there yet. I haven't figured that part out. All I know is the floor technically was like this low, so I'm keeping it there. I just think the toe board was really high. And then this piece sort of sat onto here. Kind of that. So this just had this big transition down, which I'm cool with. But, whatever. We'll figure it out. I'm just kind of trying to hug everything up fairly tight. But we'll be able to access the bell housing bolts from the outside, like under the hood. And then I feel when the transmission dips down, yeah, I don't know. This may be a little too tight yet. The other side seems to have a little more breathing room into there. So we got these brace. I got to do this one, but I don't know. Maybe we can leave that one. I don't know for sure. I've cut these ones. We haven't welded them in yet. They're going to go. I kind of want to dig out the transmission out of the shed. A drive shaft out of the shed to kind of run that length to see how we want to do that. But, yeah, because we got to figure this little portion up there before we rip up this brace over there, weld these in. Then we can figure out our hump. We got to do some braces on top. I think I'm going to do that 1/2-inch rod. We'll kind of run it along the whole frame structure. At least that's my plan. That way, on the side, we'll have somewhere we can run the sheet metal butt up to. We can zap it up, go across, do our bead rolls and all that stuff that we got to do. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff. This is actually relatively easy. It's not that big of a deal. I need to get the drive shaft so I know how big my hump's going to be when it's aired out. And then we can kind of work from there. I'll know how to scab things to it. I also need to find a set of seats because I want to be able to have, where that 1x1 is, I want it pretty close to where my seats are so I can do tabs off of it to bolt my seat down to the floor. That is my plan. From there, the next step will be to build off the chassis some body boxes so we can bolt the floor down to. Yeah. Anyways, I don't feel like doing too much more, so this becomes tomorrow's project. Anyways, till tomorrow. Well, folks, I plumb run out of steel. It's not too much else I can do. I have some strapping, so I'll probably end up running a couple pieces up here. But I haven't done, and I'm not going to get too involved in the back because I don't know what I'm doing for a fuel tank yet. I know folks have mentioned like running a Mustang tank with EFI. That's an option, but it's a very spendy option. I might just make a tank. I think I'm going to do that and try to build my own sump or a pickup. I don't know. I'll figure that out. But we'll address that. I think coming up, I just have a whole bunch of welding because everything in the floor right now is just tacked in place. So we have to do a couple little extra runners, but we got to do that. We got to build the body mounts. Then we can kind of lift this up and weld everything good underneath and whatnot. Then we could probably start working on pedals and things, but I like to get the hood so I can figure out the front sheet metal and make sure everything is perfectly lined up where it's all supposed to be. But yeah, I don't know. We didn't do too bad. It's nothing too fancy or whatnot, but we'll have to, once this is all welded, start sheeting it. Like, I don't mind doing this. We can kind of get that sheeted up over the hump. It's not a big deal that we don't get the back done. We can always, that'll be an easy thing to do later. I know some folks were talking about my air conditioning, relocating it and stuff, which, yep, I totally could have done that. I actually started looking at it. Man, it's not expensive, but it is pretty expensive for what it is. Like, I'm looking on Amazon, eBay, and it's probably about $300 to $400 by the time I get it here, just for the bracketry, and then I can't even run. None of them look like they run a factory style pump, so I'd have to do another couple $100 for a pump, and that's nuts. I was considering it just to lower the motor down, but with the oil pan and everything else, I can only bring it down maybe, realistically, if I cut the pan, I can maybe get 3 inches, but that would be really close, cutting it close, so I'm a little, for the amount of work to do all of that, to move that down to get just like 2 to 3 inches isn't, it's just not worth it. I just didn't feel it. I mucked around with it and I was able to get the pump out. I should be able to get the pump out with the air. Like if I had a radiator in here, it's tight, but you got to do it in a sequence. You got to loosen off the pump, pull it out, and then take the brackets. You got to take the bracket and the pump out, but we can get them out. This, like I say, it was a little tight, but we'll be able to trim and maybe beef that up, but not too worried. Like, we got newer arms, and the aftermarket arms don't look like they have as much. Well, maybe they do. Yeah, whatever. Not a problem. Not going to worry myself about it. Second thing, I know some folks said the steering there, that's going to be an interesting thing, and it totally is. I have addressed, or I have kind of like been playing with my pedals and figuring that. I think I showed that before and a little bit, but so those are in. Steering will be interesting, and yeah, it'll just be interesting. There's I picked one of these up at a swap meet, and this is one of these drop boxes. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, if you look, we'll put the steering column, we'll hit up the top, and then it steers out over here. So by the time we put the rack in, we run it over here. We'll be able to run it up to this side, probably have to have a wobble joint, get past the exhaust, and then that's where this thing will come in, because the steering column is probably going to be in this range, this vicinity. So we'll kind of modify this. It'll attach here, and then you can see how now we've just steered clear of all of our exhaust problems. I'm thinking of ordering a set of headers, though I don't know why. I'm not really a header person, but maybe we'll just do it for the fanciness. Part of me, like down the road at some point, would love to put a supercharger on here or something, but I'm trying to refrain myself from doing that. Kind of found a feller who might have one, so it might not be a very expensive thing, but hey, what do I know? That would be super cool, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. As it is, I think this thing will boogie pretty good. Anyways, I guess this is where we're going to leave this one. I got to get some more steel, but we put a big dent in all of this. Once I get this all burned up, I'll be able to start building some floor patches and stuff. That will be the plan. I know the kid has a little Kia car out there, so or a little SUV. So I'm thinking I might try to steal the seats out of it. I don't know if that's what I want, but I think if I at least try it, we'll see how it fits and how I seat in there. That little bad boy over there. I think they're ugly seats, but maybe they'll be okay with get them reupholstered. Anyways, like I said, I want to thank you folks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.